When I just moved to Edinburgh, my dream was to live in one of these beautiful Victorian apartments with high ceilings and huge windows, and it seemed so bohemian to me. But then, once my dream came true, I realized that these apartments have some features that I wasn't quite ready to. And as an immigrant from Europe, I still cannot get used to certain things in these old tenement flats. And today I'm going to show you these features that surprise me so much, that you can find only in British traditional apartments. So let's start with the things that I not just find strange, but also dislike a lot. And on the top place of this list is the thing that I find most annoying and uncomfortable. It's a sink with two taps in the bathroom. When I first saw it, I was really confused. Why anyone needs one tap with a freezing cold water and another with a piping hot? And how do you even use it? And I even asked ChatGPT how to use it, and that's what was its suggestions. So the first one, to open the both taps at the same time and just move my hands quickly from one tap to another to manually mix the temperature of the water. And you will laugh, that is actually how I use it now. And the second suggestion, more traditional one, is to plug the sink and open both taps just to fill the sink with both cold and hot water, and then you'll get a sink with moderately warm water, and you can change the temperature as you like. This is fine if you want, let's say, to wash your clothes or wash the dishes, but if you want to wash your hands or even a face, it just doesn't sound good to me. And the third suggestion was to buy a special attachment for mixing the water for a comfortable use. But why at the first place don't you install the normal mixer for the water for a comfortable use? Why have I go and buy some strange attachments? Yeah, that was actually the last suggestion of ChatGPT. Just replace these traditional two taps with one modern mixer tap. Of course, if I would have my own apartment, that's what I would do, but I rent mine and I cannot just replace the taps, unfortunately. So that's why I stick to the first method, quickly moving my hands from one tap to another. And let's continue with the bathroom. Another awful thing is an electric shower. If you don't know what is it is such a special shower that is attached to the wall. It uses electricity to warm the water as it goes. You never ever have enough pressure in this shower to cover yourself with water. When I take a shower, I can only cover half of my body with water and another half just freezes in the bathroom because usually it's quite fresh. The water is never hot enough as well, and in the beginning I was also worried if I accidentally will get electrified here. I don't know who invented it. I don't know why people just don't install a normal shower, don't connect it to the gas boiler, but this electric shower is in almost every tenement flat. Now let's move to the bedroom and continue the plumbing topic there, because in my bedroom I have another sink, and yeah, it has two taps as well. And what I don't like about it, that it make my room to look like a prison. And I never use this sink, even if in theory it could be convenient if you want just to brush your teeth without going to the main bathroom, if it's, for example, occupied with another member of your family. But honestly, I never use it. I cannot put any other piece of furniture there. So it's absolutely useless for me. I find it not aesthetically pleasing, and if it was my apartment, I could just remove it and install an ensuite, or maybe just remove it completely. But it is what it is. I have a sink in my bedroom and I have no idea why. And what else is typical for British apartments? Guess what? It's carpets. And these carpets in all tenement buildings are usually old, dusty and disgusting. And I have the whole flat covered with these carpets. I vacuum them every time, like once a week, and every time I have a whole container of trash, sometimes even 2 containers of trash, of dust and God knows what. And these carpets are just a never-ending source of dust. Of course, I understand that these carpets are kind of make it warmer and they work as a soundproofing, but really, if you cannot heat your flat up more than 18 degrees, these carpets won't really help. And about soundproofing, honestly, I'm not sure as well, because the floor in my building is so old. When I'm walking or when my kid is walking, the floor is literally moving, and it feels like the whole building is moving. And when my neighbors run their washing machine, I can feel vibrations. It's almost like an earthquake. So I don't think these carpets really do much in terms of soundproofing. Now, more disgusting things. Mice. Mice are everywhere in Edinburgh, but old tenement apartments are especially attractive for them, because these old apartments have a lot of holes, for example, where gas pipes enter and exit the flat, and they can just sneak in easily. When I saw a mice in my flat for the first time, I thought I have a hallucination, because it was more like a small shadow just on the floor at night. And I was like, okay, I need to get more sleep. But then I turned on the light in the kitchen and I saw them, like I see this camera now, very clear. And then I was just shocked. And yeah, there are different ways to fight them. You can use poison, you can use humanic traps, or you can use these ultrasonic devices that kind of scare them off. Or you can get a cat, but again, the cat is not an option for me now, because my landlord wouldn't be happy about pets in the house. I mean, I think cat is still better than mice, but yeah, it's hard to explain it to the landlord. So there are different ways to treat them, and I tried some of them, but this fight you will never win, because mice, they were here before you and they will be after you, and the only thing you can achieve is just to get rid of them temporarily, but at some point they will be back again. Now let's move to the things that I both like and dislike in these old Victorian houses. And the first one is the beautiful fireplace. You can see one just behind me. This is not functioning now, it's not in use, but some people, they bring woods in their houses and they light a fire. I think now it is mostly restricted in the city center, but sometimes I can smell the smoke, so I guess people still do it. But I don't use mine, and I just enjoy how it looks, and it is really cozy, and you can see if I light the candles, it is really nice. Some people also put this fake electric fire for the atmosphere and for the heating as well. So it looks beautiful and authentic. So why do I dislike it? And the answer is very simple. This fireplace and the chimney on a windy day becomes a source of terrible draft. Windy days in Edinburgh is not that rare, as you can imagine. So just today it was so windy that this wooden thing that kind of covers this fireplace, it just was moving when the wind was blowing, and I could feel the cold air entering my living room. So it is not nice, it is not warm at all. Of course, there are some ways to draft-proof it, but it is still annoying. And next are these huge sash windows, usually single glazed. These windows look beautiful and they're so extremely photogenic. And a lot of light is coming through that is obviously good for filming and for my houseplants. But these windows are old, wooden and single glazing. And in winter it feels like there is no windows at all. I made an attempt to fix it and ordered a special kit from Amazon. It's just film that you can stick to your window with this special sticky tape, and it works like a kind of fake double glazing. It creates an air barrier between your flat and the outside. And honestly, I was a bit skeptical about it, but I can tell it actually works. After I stick it to all windows in my flat, the temperature raised for a couple of degrees, and believe me, these degrees make huge difference. especially when you struggle to heat up your flat at least to 18 degrees in the cold days. People do different manipulations to draft-proof their windows as well. There are other options. For example, you can change the windows, but it is extremely expensive, and in the conservation areas like the place where I live, you are not allowed to install these plastic windows, aluminum windows, because they are not authentic enough. So you have to pay for wooden windows, and double glazed wooden windows cost a fortune. And the last controversial feature of my Victorian apartment is high ceilings. It is nice and airy, of course. It makes you feel like there is a lot of space, and just, you know, the atmosphere of these high ceilings flats is very different from the modern apartments. There is also these nice ornaments in my living room that make it look so luxurious. It's almost like some princess chamber, but again, there are some trade-offs. These high ceilings are not energy efficient as well, and my heating bills are as high as these ceilings, and there is not much you can do about it. You cannot fix your ceilings, you cannot lower them, so just get used to wear two fleeces, one on top of another in the winter and still be cold. And if you ask me, would I swap my flat with the high ceilings for a modern apartment with the energy efficient low ceilings that you can reach if you just raise your hand? Honestly, I'm not sure if I would do that. And now finally, the features that I just love without any trade-offs. And the first one, box rooms. I have 4 classic box rooms with the doors and one without a door that I use as a garage for my bicycles. And this is a great feature of these old Victorian flats. You can hide all the stuff that you don't need on a daily basis instead of just let it collect dust on the shelf. And you can also use these box rooms as a wardrobe. It's really convenient. And some flats also have an attic where you can store even more stuff, or you can convert it in a studio or extra bedroom. Unfortunately, I do not have access to the attic in my flat, but yeah, it would be really nice. Another great feature that top floor flats in old tenements usually have is Skylight. Skylight is just a window in the roof, and usually it located in the rooms where it is impossible to build normal windows, for example in the entrance hall or in the kitchen. Why I love Skylight so much? It gives you natural daylight, it's much nicer than the electric bulb, and you also save on the bills, of course. On my roof there are seagulls who have a nest there, and it's quite funny in summer when they have little birdies to see on my Skylight in the hall that they're just walking on top of it, and I can see their little, I don't know, paws, or what birds have, claws, I don't know. Yeah, so I really love Skylights. And of course, I really love the generously sized rooms in old apartments. Modern flats, especially in the cheaper buildings or ex-council houses, they build with the practical and energy efficient approach. So they have lower ceilings and smaller rooms usually, compared to the old tenements. Sometimes the bedrooms in the new flats are so small that you can barely fit a double bed there. Of course, in the more luxurious buildings, the flats and rooms are bigger, but they are expensive. But rooms in Victorian apartments are usually huge. And not just rooms, even my entrance hall, it's bigger than some bedrooms, and my kitchen is so big that I could even fit a sofa there and still have enough space to do capoeira kicks. Some flats also have an access to the garden. It can be a shared garden, shared by only people who live in the buildings. Usually it's like 4 or 6 flats, or it can be a private garden. Usually ground floor or main door apartments have it. And in my flat we've got a shared garden, but there is usually no one there, so if I go there I have it all to myself. But of course I would like to have a private garden where I could you know, grow some tomatoes or maybe do a barbecue. But again, this is in the wish list for my next flat. And this thing was my love from the first sight. When I just came to view this apartment for the first time, I entered the living room and I saw this huge bay window with a desk, and I clearly saw myself sitting there and working and making a break and resting my eyes on this beautiful view of Edinburgh. It is very picturesque, and I spent lots of hours working on my desk in this bay window, looking outside, enjoying the view, and I feel like I'm in some kind of a movie when I'm sitting there. But again, in the cold seasons, I have to move my desk away from this window because I feel like I'm sitting and working on some balcony without any heating. So yeah, this is only for summer, but still it is very nice and I really love it. So that's all the things that are very specific in traditional British flats. And what is your list? What do you love or hate in your British home? Share it with me in the comments below the video, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe.